If that doesn't stop putting honey in the fridge, I'm getting a divorce!
If you've been living under a rock for the last, couple months, Slate Digital released their plugins, well, I should say part of their plugins that were kept inside of the virtual mix rack for years and years and years. They are now available as standalone plugins, and I am so happy to see this. So what I'm going to do right now is add every single one of these to this Reaper session. Slate Digital's different plugins. It's something I haven't talked about in a long time. So let's see if I can resize FGX. That's very good news right there. Okay, so I can make that bigger. Great. The FG Gray. It doesn't look like I can resize this one. And this is the latest version. All these installers were downloaded like 2 days ago. So I actually might, since this is not resizable, I might just install the rack and not have any of these. But this is the virtual bus compressor, virtual bus compressors. And then we got the VTM virtual tape machines, which I have loved since they came out. If you want to get rid of the reels, you can do that. I like to see the spinning reels though. And then, okay, first of all, I did open this one. So this is the FG116 or 116 1176 emulation. And to resize it, you pull from the bottom right corner. I'm going to have it right at the tippy top here. Okay. Well, the good news is once you have it sized where you want it, it will stay that way when you open it in the future. They added a side chain, which is awesome. I don't think the virtual rack has that. And then here's all the presets. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. And then, of course, my favorite probably from the entire collection is the Distressor emulation, FG Stress. And the reason for that is because this compressor just sounds good on any source. Any source. Plus it has saturation. And that's about it. It's just a compressor you can use on anything, and that's great. So let's see. I might need to censor this. Okay, so apparently there is no way for me to demo SD3A. That's a shame. I was really looking forward to reviewing this plugin, but you can't now, apparently. I'll contact the people at Slate Digital. Maybe they'll send me some kind of trial license or something. I don't know. There's got to be a way to do it. Anyway, moving on. My other favorite Slate Digital plugin is VCC. So for those who don't know, the Virtual Console Collection, it simulates what it would sound like if you were to run your tracks through the line inputs of large format consoles. Now, why would you want to do that? It's something called analog summing, and what that enables you to do is it's essentially, it adds saturation that adds like this, best way to put it is the tracks sound more cohesive, like they belong together. They sound larger than life isn't the right word, because that's more of a actually I would say it's more of a delay kind of thing. But the large format console, it's what mixes sound like what high-end mixes sound like. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but you have to put it on all your tracks, and then on the stereo bus you put VCC mix bus. Okay? And you can select from a variety of different options. You have your default Brit 4KE, which is the solid state logic 4000E. Brit 4KG is the 4000G from solid state logic. USA is API. I'm not sure which console, I can't remember. Brit N, I believe from memory, was the Neve 8068 console. The fork is a trident symbol. It's trident. Possibly an A range, possibly a B range. I don't know. And then finally, RC tube is the only tube saturator in this collection, and it is from an RCA recording console. I believe this is the oldest console in this collection. And overall, again, it's something that I just got used to using on my mixes. Oh, there's no presets. Interesting. Well, I got used to using these just to add a little bit of extra something, a little bit of extra, it does compress the signal a little bit. It adds nonlinearities, which kind of like fill up the frequency spectrum, as opposed to like a digital pure signal that doesn't do that, and then tends to sound on the thin side. Thin's not always a bad thing. I mean, especially if you're trying to lose weight. But, when it comes to mixing, if you're going for that commercial mix quality, and even if you're not, like if you're going for something, more vintage sounding, then I would say go with the RCA. But I don't know, there's just something about VCC, and I'm not alone. If you go on the Gearspace page for VCC when it was first released, people said the same thing. And it couples really well with virtual tape machines. So you just combine both of these plugins together, and your tracks already sound good. It's something I've been doing for years, and I'm finally glad to be talking about Slate's plugins again. I don't think I ever gave many of these the proper review that they deserve. So maybe now that they're free from the shackles of Virtual Mix Rack, maybe I will review them. At least the ones that I own, because apparently I can't review the new ones. I can't review the new ones without, I don't know, somebody told me check out the subscription, but I don't want to try out every single plugin. I just want to try out one at a time. So we'll see how all that goes. I'm not sure what's up with that. I had assumed that I could try that, and maybe that's why there's not too many videos out about SD3A. And also, for some reason, the LA3A compressor wasn't as popular as the LA2A for some reason. To me, the LA3A is better. Like, if I had to choose between the two, I've heard what a LA2A, like a reissue, sounds like. I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's because of the tube, but it's like it adds too much high end. There's something going on with that. But the LA3A, which I heard the clone 1176G, which is kind of similar to the LA3A. Anyway, the LA3A to me is like having a easy to use 1176 revision D, E, or G, certainly the G, and I just really like how clean it is, but it's not boring. It's like a clean but slightly gritty sound to it. Anyway, just like with the Distressor, you can use it on a large amount of different sources, and in fact, one day I'm going to do a whole mix with just LA3As, maybe just one plugin, but I just want to prove to you guys what I'm talking about. And my big trick, which apparently this other mixing engineer does, and I forget his name right now, but what I'll do with my voiceovers a lot of times is I'll have two LA3As, and I'll put one in limit, put that one first, get that where it's just knocking off the peaks, and then I set the other LA3A compressor plugin to compress mode, and then I can dig in deeper on the gain reduction. And that, to me, just sounds really nice. Really nice, and it's so easy to dial in. So anyway, I talked enough about this. If you're a Slate Digital owner of these plugins, you probably already heard that they went individual, but in case you didn't, there's your signal to go download these, try them out. Also, I should mention, I just downloaded this myself. Cytomic the Glue. Oh, where'd it go? Cytomic the Glue. They just released a new version of this. A slight version update. And version 1.8.1 was released, I think, last month, in the middle of the month. And, they don't really talk about, there's not like emails that get sent out as far as I know. But yeah, if you own the Glue, which is an SSL bus compressor emulation, kind of, sort of, with added bonus features, the Glue's great. The Glue is another great plugin that people need to try out on their next mix. See ya.